All right, so thank you all for coming out tonight. I think I'm up here to present this award to Todd just because I think I probably have known Todd longer than anybody in this room, though I can't say as we've been friends for quite as long as I've known him. I first met Todd in 1989 at a New England Cup Grand Prix half-pipe event. And when Todd was dropping in for his first run, he dropped in, and lo and behold, there was a chubby little fat kid who was 15 years old, ironically grabbing a bottle of Mountain Dew that I had dropped out in the flat bottom. And Todd dropped in, and he demanded a rerun because some fat kid was in the middle of the flat bottom. And that fat kid was me. But here we are almost 30 years later, and I've actually gotten to know Todd quite a bit. And as a snowboarder growing up on the East Coast, he meant the world to us. He proved that we didn't have to be a racer. He proved that Jeff Brushy wasn't an anomaly. And then he went on to have an elite career for 2 decades nearly. He won 2 US Opens. He won the first X Games halfpipe. He's the only male rider to medal in big air, halfpipe, and slopestyle at the X Games. Represented America in 1998 at the Olympics. He invented the wet cat McTwist, had a Huck doll, been featured in video games, and he's an Emmy-nominated announcer for the Olympic broadcast. He starred in the movie Out Cold.
Wow.
He wrote a book called P3. He actually used to run his own magazine called Drift, where there's probably 20,000 copies in Breckenridge somewhere still. He also skipped seeing Star Wars so he could be here tonight, which anybody who knows Todd knows that a big deal. But in my mind, Todd's biggest accomplishment may have been appearing on Howard Stern for announcing Baba Booey during the Dew Tour. He actually got called out on Howard Stern with a Baba Booey.
Legendary move. Legendary move.
And then here's Chris Grenier, who probably was influenced more by Todd than I was.
Can we just give a major shout out to Out Cold right now? Just big time, my boy Todd.
Yeah.
But straight up, I grew up in Massachusetts in Worcester County. Todd Richards is from Worcester County. I have posters of him on my wall. My first snowboard was a Moro. It kills me to kiss his ass, but he's an absolute legend. His jersey would be in the rafters of the Snowboard Hall of Fame. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but it should be. And anyway, give it up for Todd.
All right, Todd Richards. But don't take our word for it. Check this out.
Me poised in the starting gate for the finals. The camera zooms in on my severely charred face, and the voiceover says, "Here we have Todd Richards from Paxton, Massachusetts, riding for Sims." That was the exact second I shit my pants.
To the block pit, hypodermic people don't get one at the limit. They take the weight out of this, it takes the weight out of limit. Are we just infants for the right for the training? The opposition can't feel the tentacle ring suction comes the numb arms of the elderly. Please lift the weight out of this, please take the weight out of limit. Let's let these blockers trip on endless room. Following out and I can choose her. Dilated, massive weight is for nothing. It's like it's caught and gone.
Damn car off of the hill.
Like I said, all she wanted was the whole shot, and she could just run with it.
Exactly.
Oh! Jacob Ellis goes down! Jacob Ellis goes down!
Who's the Jacuzzi Casanova?
Oh, that's him right there.
Wow. This is a huge deal. When Nick Hamilton called me and said, he called me up and Nick Hamilton goes, "Hey, you won the Riders Poll this year." And at first I was like, "Holy shit, you're still working at TransWorld?" And then I was just, you know, I'm pretty floored because I came up in the East Coast, and we didn't have a lot of people to look up to back then. But I'm here because I stood on the shoulders of the people that came before me. Terry Kidwell, Chris Roach, Jeff Brushy, Andy and Jack Coughlin. These were the people that I thought were bigger than life. They were absolutely massive to me. And I mean, good God, man. I've got a little bit of thank you here to do. I got to roll through almost 30 years of thank yous. It's not going to be quite as long as Robin's speech, but I'll condense. I can get 30 years into a shorter speech than Robin. First and foremost, I need to thank my family for always being by me. My mom was my biggest champion. I lost my dad when I was 18, and he was just there right when it started to happen for me. And my mom basically pushed my ass out to Colorado and kind of made it happen for me. So my mom is a big deal, big influence in my life. Thank you. My wife, my daughter, and my son, they are my absolute backbone. And I mean, they mean more to me than snowboarding, for sure. And, okay, so here we go with the thank yous. So first and foremost, Rob Levine, he was the first guy that I ever had in my high school that had a snowboard. We were all skaters. He was the first one that ever ordered one. He is the reason that I even started snowboarding, so thank you, Rob Levine. Trevor Graves, who is one of the best snowboard photographers of all time. He kickstarted my career by basically pointing a camera at me and the New England Cup back when this whole thing started, and I almost ran over a fat kid in the pipe chasing a Mountain Dew. And then, you know, Sims Snowboards was behind me in the beginning. I rode for Sims for a little bit, for a couple years. Rode for Funky Snowboards. That was a high spot. And then I went on to ride for Morrow for quite a few years, and Morrow was family to me. The original Morrow team, Robbie Morrow, Tucker Franzen, Shannon Dunn, Noah Brandon. Then it went on to Josh Dirksen, Andrew Crawford, Billy Anderson, Tyler Lepore, Eric Linus. These guys are still my family. I pine for those days more than anything else with all of us traveling together. And then the Rosignol days when I rode with Travis Rice and those guys all the way up to now, where I've been riding for Quicksilver now for about 15 years. They have got my back. DC, Nixon. God, the list is just so long and heavy. So all these guys have been behind me. I friggin' love snowboarding. I'm doing my best to do this sport right and, you know, really keep it true to what it is. I do screw up tricks every once in a while on TV. Don't get too pissed at me because I got a C in fucking math, okay? Like, I can't add that fast, and I am in my 40s, so eyes are going bad too. But I'm trying. I'm out there trying. So thank you guys for this, but before we go, I figure I'd be blowing it if I didn't use this platform to talk about something serious. The media, you know, has been pretty crazy over the past few years. We've seen a lot in the media that maybe isn't true. And I'd just like to take this time right now to say there's no fucking such thing as a frontside indie, goddammit. Thank you. Good night.